Welcome
go
to
ahead.
September 15th meeting of the Hingham Historic Districts Commission. This meeting is called to order as of 6:33 p.m. This meeting is being held remotely as an alternate means of public access pursuant to an order issued by the Governor of Massachusetts dated March 12, 2020, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You're hereby advised this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded at the town of Hingham in accordance with the open meeting law, and it is being recorded. It does not look like Catherine is joining us. The voting members, there's 5 things on the agenda. The voting members would be Justin, myself, Carol, and Dan.
And Eric, perhaps, because he was at the site visit.
Yeah, I was going to go through, maybe divide and conquer a little bit.
Sure.
So generally, for the 4 voting members, are there any conflicts of interest?
No.
Okay. So for the first item, 194 North Street, Eric, can you be the voting member? 5th voting member?
Yes.
For 302 North Street, you also were at that site visit. Do you mind being a voting member for that? I think I heard you say yes.
Yep.
237, 239 South Street, and 361 Main Street. Marianne, would you be the voting member for those 2?
I will.
Okay. And then 124 South Street. Josh, you want to be the voting member for that one? All right. Okay, so first on the agenda is a continuation of 194 North Street, replacing windows with the Libretts. I think we got some additional information this afternoon on the proposed window replacement. So, you want to present anything, Mitch? Or
Yeah, well, we did hire a contractor,
John Detweiler.
John Detweiler, who has proposed restoring the 2 front windows of the house to their original historical condition and replacing how many windows on the side?
I think about 9. I believe it's 9.
Replacing windows that cannot be seen from the street with more contemporary windows that still have an appearance of historical. You look at them, it's very difficult to tell the difference, but the 2 front windows that can be seen from the street will be the same windows, simply restored by an expert.
That's nice.
Yeah, and the side windows, we were hoping to do like I think it says like a 3-pane window. If John sent you that, so it's still old. Our neighbors across the street have it. There's a lot of houses, so it's not contemporary. It's still quite old.
What does 3-pane mean? I don't know.
I think what it means is like 1 big pane and then halved in the
bottom,
the top, and the bottom is a full pane.
And how old is your house? What is the date?
1860.
Okay, so those big panes wouldn't have been available in 1860. They weren't invented till the end of the century.
Okay.
Does it have to be that configuration, or could it be the 3/3, 6/6 like you have in the front?
Well, actually, in the front we have 12/12 in the front.
Even better.
Along the side, it's not. They're not all consistent. Some of them are smaller.
Yep.
Mr. Detweiler had told us that none of the windows are actually 1860. They have all been restored and replaced over the years. So my interest was mostly I think I said this the last time that we moved from a house in Duxbury with almost 60 windows.
Yeah.
And all I wanted was, my dream in my retirement years was to be able to, clean them, like double pane so that we could pick them, turn them in. So pane wise, I'm open for, your ideas.
Well, this is what John sent us to the company that creates these things. And this is what they offered us. I'm not sure that a 6-pane window is available for the side of the house. But we've done really the best we can to keep the visible part of the house, restored. I like restoring things. I really don't like renovation. But.
We did move from a house built in 1770 in Duxbury, so we're we know a lot about that. So this is actually one of John's ideas, to be honest. So we said, oh yeah, that looks great. We went to Taylor Lumber and worked out prices, and that's what he recommended.
So, Chair, can I chime in with a few thoughts?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what Fibrix is, but go ahead. Maybe.
So these windows, just for the edification of the board. So these windows, they're wood interior. They're not a wood exterior. They're a material called Fibrix, which is kind of like a composite. It's kind of wood based. So it's not metal clad, but it's not true wood, and they come painted. So it doesn't have that metal finish or feel that the aluminum claddings do. Fibrix is like all the chopped up sawdust kind of glued together, and they put some resins and some other stuff in it. So that's what the material is. They, depending on the dimensions, these do come in 12 over 12. It all depends on the dimension. As the glass and the sash gets big enough, they can
Right.
go from 8 over 8 to 12 over 12. So my guess is your windows are big enough to do a 12 over 12. The one thing is, though, they're grill inserts, so it's not a simulated divided light like that we're used to, where they actually, between the two pieces of glass, glue in the bar and then put the wood muttons on the outside. It's a grill insert between the lights of glass, which is a little bit different than what we've done in the past.
What does that look like?
Yeah.
So aesthetically, it's a little different. I mean, from far away, you can't. You may not. I think most people wouldn't notice it. When you walk up closer, it's a plastic grid that's inserted in between the glass and kind of held in place at the ends. So from a few feet away, you can tell. From 10, 15 feet away, less noticeable. The big thing that it does is, the simulated divider that we've been approving to date, is that has a full like aluminum bar that's glued between the glass. So you don't have those shadow lines, and it gives that different appearance. You don't get that same effect with these windows.
And it's fairly close to the sidewalk, as I recall.
Yeah. So the sidewalk, but the front's being restored. So it's more the side elevation, I think, that we'd be thinking about with these. And then just one other clarification with Librett's. I was on the site visit, but I did go by. Aren't there 3 windows in the front, or is one not yours on your side?
We
One
have
not there.
2, and our neighbor has 3. So it's a total.
Okay, so that's
5.
okay. So yeah, so that's hers. I couldn't figure out where
I
it's
know,
over your
there's
door.
one in the
but-
middle.
Yeah. Okay. And then there's the little basement one, but you're not doing anything to the basement one.
I think John was gonna,
Clean it up.
clean it up
Yeah.
for us.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. But that was not
The basement one's definitely not original. I think it
Yeah.
may even be aluminum replacement or something.
okay.
Yeah, John said nothing is original. So we based that on what he told us.
Yeah, this was his recommendation. If there's something available that he didn't propose and you think is more appropriate, we certainly, we get it,
What is the company that makes the ones that you're looking at?
Anderson,
It's
It's an
Anderson, yeah.
Anderson.
Yeah.
yes.
It added note, the muntin, I think, is the minimum width in the wood right is 3/4 of an inch. I know that was a point of conversation last time that we were targeting 5/8 ideally. But
These are 3/4, you're saying?
yeah, the smallest they come in.
Yeah.
They come larger than that, but the smallest is 3/4 that they provide in this window line.
Our hope was just to, at least on the side, avoid storm windows and storm, screens.
I can't remember
Yeah.
the company, but maybe Dan can. We've approved in the past double pane, so you don't need a storm,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
all wood and 5/8 of an inch mullion. So they're
Yeah.
thinner, older looking. Anybody recall the company? I don't.
Marvin, Norwood. I think there was an Anderson one that is a little
There
bit
is.
different. Yeah. There's a. I think there's a Pella one, but I don't think our board's ever approved it, or it's come in front of us. I can't remember if they'll do a unclad one or
I
not.
don't know. I don't think they do.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So is there a huge price difference? Is that why you're being advised to go to this company when there are 3 other companies that make something a little more appropriate?
To be honest, we got the referral for Mr. Detweiler from Andrea Young. So
What he's telling us.
what he
is
told
that,
us, we said, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I don't
So
really.
it's Andrea's fault, huh?
I mean, if there's something more desirable and available, we'll get it.
I don't want to speak for the whole committee, but we've been trying to stick to 5/8 of an inch. It just looks far more authentic. You don't need a storm. It's still 2 panes of glass, and it's all wood, which is always the best way to go in an old house, what we've been discovering. Is it possible that you talk to Mr. Detweiler and ask him about these others?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Let me
I
see.
mean,
if I-
I would say I mean, to answer your question, there is a cost difference. All the other 3 that we just spoke of do cost more. Just from personal experience on my own house and professionally, I know that there is a price increase. I'm not going to speculate what it is today. It changes so frequently, but that's probably one of the reasons why Mr. Detweiler was thinking this direction. But
And there, how many of those side windows you need? Side and back?
9.
Wow.
Nothing in the back. The back is
Just
okay.
9 side windows, okay.
Right.
Would you be willing to talk with John about? I mean, if a huge double the price.
I'd be willing to. I'm not going to speak for the other committee members, but I mean, I'm happy. I like the compromise of replacing the windows on the side. It's not a huge visual. Restoring the 2 in the front. I'd be content to give them approval tonight and kind of give them the different names, and they can then just give Andrea a cut sheet. That way they don't have to come back in front of us.
And what are your parameters? What do you want to see there?
I would say an all wood window with the 5/8 inch grill, simulated divided light.
Yep.
To be Marvin, Norwood, Anderson or equal, and Anderson, and then Andrea can just verify that, and that way we avoid them coming back to another meeting.
That sounds great. And what about the number of panes so that we don't end up with a 2/1 or 1/2 or something?
I would like, there must have been my thought is there must have been precedent for, doing the 12/12. If the homeowners are amenable to that, I think it would make sense to have uniformity. I mean, you're restoring the 4 or the 2 in the front. It would probably make sense to keep it uniform, but
Yeah.
A lot of the windows upstairs are not 12/12. They're a little bit of a mishmash.
yeah. Andrea, is there on the historic card for this? Is there? I don't know when the photo was taken. If it shows what it was back when that photo was taken.
Not that I'm aware. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Because it's from the front.
Oh.
And
Well, no, that's why I was wondering if it showed what
Yeah.
the front was. Yeah, but I mean, I think
Don't
either
they-
way,
aren't
the
they
right.
6/6? I think I'm seeing in the picture on the application.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought. So
today,
Yeah, I thought
today
so.
it's a lot of 6/6.
Mhm.
so one of those two, either 12/12 or 6/6.
Yeah, I think the way to go is to match the front. It actually, I don't know if they're 9/9, 6, whatever it is, but
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we'll call them.
Right.
I think to match
If
the
it matched
existing is the way to.
front.
Yeah, it seems you're restoring those two. I think it would make sense to just kind of mimic that look and aesthetic.
Mhm.
Okay, we're fine with that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That's
They
wonderful.
look beautiful.
So what do we do next?
Cool.
We
I'll
just
make
talk to
them-
John and.
Can I make a motion, Chair?
oh,
Sure.
Make a motion to issue a certificate of appropriateness for 194 North Street located in the Lincoln Local Historic District for restoration of 2 windows on the front elevation and replacement of 9 windows on the side elevation to be wood simulated divided light windows with 5/8 muttons for Andrea Young of Historic District Commission to verify as part of the application.
And do you want to say either 12/12?
Oh yeah, and the replacement windows to match the 2 front elevation window sizings, whether that's 6/6 or 9 or 12/12.
Okay,
Okay.
Seconded.
No seconds it. Okay.
Yeah.
Dan, how do you vote?
Yes.
Carol,
Aye.
Justin,
All right.
Eric?
Aye.
It's an aye for me. Motion passes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You're gonna
Thank
be-
you.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
All right.
good night.
Good night.
Right.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
All right, next on the agenda, 302 North Street, continuation. We had a site visit this past week. I see Al is here. Don't think I see Mr. Bridge.
Bridgman, yeah, I see Frank's iPhone. Is that you,
Okay.
Frank?
Oh, there you go.
I'm
He's down
sorry,
there.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry. Did you say we had a site visit this week?
Saturday.
This past weekend.
8:30 in the morning.
I'm sorry, I didn't get notification of that.
Oh, but you did. I think you were probably, weren't you on the Cape, I thought?
This last weekend?
Yeah.
I can come up, I'm only an hour away. I can come up to anything.
Well, I'm sorry. If you didn't see, I'm sure you got it. You're on the mailing list. So check back, Carol. I'm
Was it
sorry.
An email?
It was an email.
Yep. It was on the 7th
I'll go check.
2:27 and you're on it.
Bye. It's my senility setting in.
Nah.
You're just too busy enjoying the Cape.
No, we were home.
All right,
Nevertheless, we did have a site visit.
Good.
Yes.
Well,
it's all yours, Al.
this is Al. Thank you for all attending, almost all of you attending the site visit. I wasn't there either. So
Al and I were off busy doing other things.
we're busy doing things on a beautiful Saturday. So I don't know who's there, but I don't know how to introduce myself. Andrea, did you get the email I just sent you about a half hour ago?
A half hour ago, I got the one
No?
that was a little more than about an hour ago, or an hour, like 4:30 or something.
No, this one came in at about 6.
No, I did not.
Okay.
So I guess, let me just look at my,
It's-
is it critical?
Yeah. Not
Okay.
critical. That's a heavy word. It's not critical, but it's
Okay.
sort of it's a new idea that you and sort of Frank came up with. Frank can speak to this idea, but we're generating a new approach to the design.
Okay, I will find it. So, excuse me for a moment.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if it's even shareable. It's really hot off the press.
Okay. So just go ahead and talk about everything. And I'll be right with you when I find
Okay.
this thing.
Well, I can maybe speak while you're looking for it. It's the concept of rotating the existing house 90 degrees and pushing it back a little deeper into the lot. So it's not right on top of the street, and it sort of has a nice street presence when this happens. This is, again, all happening quite fast, but it's quite good, in my opinion. Then once we do that, and if we rotate the house and lift it a couple of feet, maybe 30 inches off of the grade, it allows a higher ridge height that we can then tie into with a perpendicular ridge off of the back that could maybe tee into another perpendicular ridge, and the drawings would help a lot. And I apologize for not having them ready, but
In advance of those drawings, us having a chance to look, what kind of treatment on the lift with the foundation?
will be a brick fronted foundation wall on maybe the three sides that you could see, and maybe even further. I don't know yet. Would have to speak to that, I think. But the real sort of the win in this situation is that we're no higher than the existing ridge line that's there now, other than raising the house up. So it becomes a one-story structure, one-story addition, marrying into the existing one-story home. Again, it's hard to speak to without the graphic, but it's a very viable approach, and I think it really honors the existing house quite well. It works well within the site, it works within the wetland setbacks, it works within the zoning setbacks. It just seems to, and Frank's on board with it. We spoke briefly this afternoon while we were developing this concept. So Frank, if you're on this, if you're here, maybe you could speak to your take on what we're up to now.
But it's an intriguing thought, because during the site visit, it did seem that the presence as is seen from the street is not its best side.
Right.
Yeah, I know. The front door faces sideways, and this would sort of fix that.
Kind of the old design really just engulfed it, just because of that being perpendicular tying into it. It just really swallows it up and makes it look like an appendage that was
right,
kind of left over.
And the main house, I believe this to be true. The existing house that is 30 feet by 16 feet. That's the brick faced foundation wall that's there now. And then they added, I think, 16 or 18 feet to make it longer, and then that sort of porch was added at some point on top of that. But the original home. Oh, thank you, Andrea.
Yay. Okay. There she blows. Is it? Oh, look. Wait a minute. So
There's a
is
site
one-
plan and a rendering.
Okay, here's the site plan. Yay.
I know.
Well, I like what I see on the thumbnail.
Yeah, Andrea, can you open that up in a
Oh,
sort of
sorry.
bigger-
Oh, really? Is that all it is? I'm sorry.
I think you need a double click on there.
Thank you.
On, who can see this? Why am I not finding this?
You're sharing your the documents folder right now.
Oh, that's crap. Hold on.
I think a double click will do the trick.
No, hold on. All right, here we go. No? All right, I'm going to send it to Tracy. She knows what she's doing. Miss Tracy. All right, I'll send it to you.
Okay, I'll look for it.
Okay, good. Thanks. All right. So, sorry, I don't,
But in anticipation, I guess just to confirm, the entirety of the structure now is one story?
Yeah. I mean, we
And
can
then is
speak
that-
to the old, sorry.
I was saying, and is that a garage in the back that's attached with like a breezeway?
Yep. You can see it. Okay, yeah.
Well, I see the thumbnail. I've got good vision still.
Yeah, the
So
garage
is
is
that-
way back.
Yeah, is that like an open breezeway or enclosed?
Well, that's to be determined. I think, yeah,
Okay.
I could, well, yeah, it's up, this, it,
Oh,
this
jeez.
is really new and exciting right now, but,
So, Al, Frank, are you guys looking for some? Seems this is so new. Kind of looking for feedback and initial
yeah, I
impressions
think,
before
I
you
think
go
that's
further
fair to
with it.
say. Yeah, because we can speak to the old concept, but I think I can't speak for Frank. So, but I believe we're going in this direction. So, oh, Frank's calling me right now. Hold on. Hey, Frank. What happened? Okay. Hold on, I'll put you on the microphone. Thanks.
All right,
So
Tracy.
Frank's joining me on my phone. So Frank, can you hear this?
Yes, I can hear it. My audio is not working.
Okay. Can you guys hear Frank?
Yes, we can.
Great.
Okay.
All right. So
And
Frank, I
Tracy
just
will
introduced the
have
new concept. So,
Well, I thought, I got the sense from the board at the meeting that, I'm just going to be cut to the chase. I mean, you didn't like it. So Andrea, at the end of the meeting, talked to me and asked me about, did I ever think about moving the house, parallel to the street? And, I know like the Charles Edward house across from the fire station, they did it the opposite thing. And I thought it was a very interesting approach to the site. And, I finally had some time to sit down with Al today. We talked about it and we just put some stuff together. I thought Al did a great job on tying the thing to everything together. Now, the foundation is an interesting thing because it is it's going to really depend on the soil conditions and, the floodplain and conservation and how the thing is constructed at the end. But, the brick front we could accomplish on the front and the two sides of the main house. I think the rest of it would be not visible because it would be behind and kind of even on the sides. The side, the right-hand side is more visible than the left-hand side, but to make it match, and then as far as the elevation goes, we don't, 30, we're at, I think 17.5 now. We might have to go to 18.5 or 19 on that the existing building.
Yep.
And then we'll be able to tie everything else. I just think from a standpoint of design, it was a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I never thought of it.
I hadn't
Yeah, I
either.
think this was a
Andrea did. So,
vast improvement.
yeah.
Well, maybe it was Andrea in trouble.
Andrea, I don't think so.
Is two questions then. So is that front little garage is that going away then in this plan, and does it have to go away?
Yes, it has to go away because just the maneuverability of a car in the driveway at this point. And, that's kind of a mishmash of a building anyways. I mean, we were at the site from a historic standpoint. There's only that right there in the front that has any originality. And that's not even original. The front doors, fiberglass, the windows have been replaced. Not replaced recently. They're probably in the 50s. The back was built probably, in a different era. The bedroom in the back. And so there's a real mishmash of things. And I thought this was a good way of trying to highlight the original house.
Yeah.
Right, and it keeps
So
a degree of separation that the old and the new is identifiable.
The separation between the old and new here,
Yeah, it's identifiable. It's
it's
distinct.
pretty identifiable. The front of the house is that's it.
Yeah.
Everything else on that house that attached to it was built
right.
you know, the big addition in the back, the hip roof was probably built, like I said, I don't have any history going further back than 1995, I believe. But, you know, from a construction standpoint, it was probably built within, you know, 20 years of that, in the 80s. I mean, that's probably in the building permit. That was a major addition. The sunroom in the back was an addition. There was even an addition on the original house in the back.
Right.
So
The original house, you can tell what the footprint was by the brick foundation wall and the window placement.
Yes.
It's pretty straightforward. And that's what we've done. We've taken that original home, turned it 90 degrees and raised it up to get it just a little more street presence and out of the floodplain. And then added out the back, honoring the existing form, not growing any higher. And just, again, using that form, those gables, those slopes to create a gable fronted, I mean, a garage with a gable facing North Street, which I think anchors that side of the house quite well. So form wise, I know we're just throwing this at you and no one's seen it, who didn't even get a chance to get a package together, of course, but I don't know what we're exactly looking for. Maybe some level of feedback, just some direction. If you like the general overall new concept, or
I think the form and the massing are drastically better. I think it's going in the right direction. My only other thing to think about would be the connection, the breeze, whatever that's going to be. It feels a little funny and forced at the moment. And I get it, Al. You know, this is hot off the presses. You haven't had a chance yourself to digest that, but that's where my eye's drawn right now. I think maybe that needs some reworking, maybe a couple options internally, but and I'm sure you're not surprised by that comment. So
no,
that's the only other thing I have to say.
Thank you.
I'd add to Dan too, the breezeway hits me in the eye. You're in a 1798, granted it's only the teeny little front of the house, but you're in among a lot of very old houses on an old street. The barn would never have been attached in olden days. So if there's any way you could work it so it's a separate barn, which could have had smelly animals in it and not be attached to the house, I think that would be an improvement. And I'm wondering what you're thinking about doing to the windows on the street side of the house and the door. You said it's aluminum or something. Are you thinking of replacing those?
The gable end?
No,
No,
the new
front.
Yeah, the new front,
The front.
the side, the front, the existing door and the two flanking windows they're not original, but there would be something in the true divided light.
They're not original windows. I mean, probably, I would say 1940s.
Right.
You know, it's hard to tell, but I honestly, when I got the last meeting, this North Street, so forth. So I did a little more work and I looked at the maps, did a little research myself, and that's what made me look back at the house itself, because on the maps, the early maps, doesn't show up until 1820 around there, but it's a much smaller building, which is that building in the front.
Yeah.
And it didn't show the outbuildings or anything else. There was a lot of things going on in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the attached garage, I mean, I know what this, I have to make this comment. I mean, I go around all over town and there's attached garage to every house. So, I mean, the precedent's there.
Not exactly every house. Nobody around me has attached garage, but we're trying to do what's
I
appropriate.
couldn't hear you. Could you repeat that?
But not exactly every house was the
Yeah, my neighborhood
Well,
doesn't have
I
attached
would
garage.
say right now, under construction, there is on Main Street, several, a handful.
That's nice. So,
So,
what
I
we're
mean, you've got them
saying,
on Main Street. I mean, it's a practical, to separate a garage and have 4 feet between it doesn't make any sense. And then sometimes, sense wins out. So I think that is something that I have an issue with. I'm trying to work with the board here. I think it's a great idea. I'm always open to make it a better project. But I also, there are points where I do need to have certain things.
And I'm looking at the attachment now, and it is a little bit forced the way it's drawn, because that's just how it came out quick. But I'll explore looking at it a couple of different ways, so we can maybe come to some kind of an agreement on what it could be that would, work best for all.
I agree with that. Yeah, because I think that's what I'm saying. Al, this is a very rough sketch. I have all the confidence between the board, Al and myself. We could come up with something that is very nice there.
Right.
Will it be
And it's just
appropriate?
the facet of working together.
Can I just interject that, Frank, if you have addresses of attached garages or garages that are now under construction that are going to be attached, that would really be helpful.
Right, particularly
I
in
can put
that
the list
area.
together tomorrow. I mean, you've got one on Main Street that was approved, burnt down.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
reconstructed. Okay, then you've got right across the street, you had the house, massive addition right around the corner, the white colonial, a massive addition with a 2-car garage attached. Next door to that, there's another one. It's got a massive 2-car garage with a breezeway attached to the house. Those are 3 right there. I'm not asking, for a 2-car garage. I'm asking for a single-car garage, which is kind of unusual.
But we
That's true.
can let Al have a chance at this, and if we could go forward, just noting our concern about the attachedness.
I think that's great.
I understand that, and I understand the thing, but in some cases, you have to look at what makes sense. I don't see any sense to have a 4-foot. I mean, we could work on the location of the garage, the positioning of the garage, the attachment to the garage to make it something that.
Right. It's tight to the setback now, so you can't.
Let's give Al a chance.
Yeah.
Give Al a chance.
Give Al a chance. It's like a song.
Let's give Al a chance. Yay, Al.
Hey.
Go for it, Al.
Okay.
You've gone to great extents to just throw away a plan that we worked months on.
I know. That's much appreciated.
Frank is exceptional in my opinion. He's doing the right thing, which doesn't always
Yes.
happen.
He
So-
is.
That's what I'm saying. I know what I just want.
He appreciates this stuff, and it's wonderful to work with him. So we'll
right.
come. We'll
We
get.
don't deny that. Go, Frank.
No, we agree.
Go,
We
Al.
agree.
We're good. And
I
we'll
know.
see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So,
All right.
Great.
well,
Wait. Yeah.
before you
So
go
how is
out,
it ending? Sorry.
hold on.
Hold on.
We left him without any.
Andrew, this was a continuation and I think we skipped a month. So
Yeah.
does Frank
Well,
need to
they,
file
yes,
an extension or?
yes, they do. And so Al, can you come in
Yeah.
and see me next week? Or
Yeah.
if it's convenient for Frank, I don't know. I know you're in Quincy, but if you're down, anybody, either one of you can sign the extension. And
Okay, I'll do it, Frank. Whatever.
Okay. My office is in Hingham, and I have no problems doing it as well.
All right. Beautiful.
All right. I'll call you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think we're a few minutes ahead of schedule now.
Oh, like 3, maybe, I think. 3
Yeah.
minutes. But I think we can. We've never been ahead of schedule. So congrats.
I wouldn't say never, but
We have, but
often.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we usually listen to jokes from you, don't we?
I know. Ugh.
Why was the math book sad?
The what?
Why was the math book sad?
The
It had the
math,
problems.
It had a lot of problems.
that's good. I like that.
Oh, Andrea, are you
I
okay?
know. Yeah, I am. It's just, allergies and sinusitis and all that other stuff. So,
Oh, dear.
yeah, that's why I'm kind of hiding because I look like I've been shot out of a cannon, you know?
Oh, dear.
So we have John Teriyaki. He's next.
Yep. All right, so next up, 237, 239 South Main Street. There is Mr.
Hi,
Teriyaki.
John.
So
Hi, good evening.
the Amsters have joined here.
I'm not sure. Yes, I.
Oh,
looks
yeah,
like-
down. No, I
yeah.
see. Oh, there they are.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Good evening, John Teriyaki, Teriyaki Architectural Design, and I'm here with Richard and Pam Amster. And if it's okay with the board, we'll just dive right into it and start introducing the property and discuss what we are planning to do.
Yeah.
So I'll just share my screen. So this is 237 and 239 South Street in the Lincoln Local Phase 2 district. This is a two-family property, and South Street is right here, and the property slopes down fairly significantly from the street towards the back. And as you can tell from the floor plan, it's been modified and added on and extended over the years. And what we're asking for is simply regarding the two entrances to the two units. And this is very much a functional request to create a more comfortable entry sequence and a little bit of protection to the weather at both entries. And I'll go into that in detail. So we included the historical record in the application. The house, the main portion is originally from 1728, and it's been added on and expanded over the years, including this porch that came at a later time. Here are some existing photographs. You can clearly see the original portion of the house, very well preserved. And so what we would like to do is for 237, which is the right side of the house, the majority of the house is number 237. And we would like to simply enclose this porch with paneling and detail that's compatible with the rest of the house, and basically turn it into a paneled closed vestibule. So there is no change to the roof line or any other footprint modifications proposed to this entrance. The entrance to number 239, which as you can tell, is not historically appropriate. And what we would like to do is to remove the metal railing and extend a very small porch and vestibule extension along this tight walkway. And here we're restricted by the setback. So there's little we can do here. We simply want to extend this a little forward and potentially reuse this round column at the corner here, and then create a little bit of a cover and then a small enclosed corridor. So that would be in the photograph, this section right here, setback from the street. Existing floor plan. Again, no other changes are proposed at the moment. And we just shaded all the areas that are not relevant to the project. So simply the proposed vestibule here enclosing under the soffit line, and then creating the small extension here about 7 feet by a little less than 3 feet, because we're very tight against the zoning setback, and we're trying to avoid a variance. And the column proposed on the corner right there. And we submitted the elevations, existing and proposed, together just so that you can see and compare. And here simply enclosing this, panelizing it, potentially creating some pilaster detail to complement the main entrance, but certainly not to compete with it, because this is a beautiful entry. And we're just trying to do a simplified paneled enclosure here potentially reuse the existing door. And if that's not the case, then we would submit a solid wood door cut sheet to the board for approval. But right now the plan is to reuse. And same thing on the left side, adding the porch extension, potentially reusing this existing wood column here and adding a little bit of a wood railing in front for safety purposes because there is a drop off right there. Just going to go to the right side elevation. This shows the existing open porch versus infilled porch with a compatible solid wood double hung window and raised paneling below. And again, continuing the simple 10-inch wide pilaster detail, square pilaster around the corner. And on the opposite side, again, existing and proposed, removing that pipe railing and adding a small porch extension, part of which will be enclosed, a part of it will be open with a wood railing for the as a guardrail for building code purposes. So that's essentially the project. We're happy to answer any questions you may have or go into more detail as needed.
I have one if you go back to the front, that one, whoops. Right now you have one door that is out toward the street and two that are set back in. And it looks like when you're done, you're going to have two doors set at the same plane up at street level.
This one will still be set back a little bit. If you could look at the floor plan, this will still be recessed, matching the existing soffit line, recessed about almost a foot.
But the door right now, as it stands, is set back in right there. Yeah.
Correct. The door is right now here.
Is there any chance of putting that door on the side? Or you're not competing with the front?
Our services are all along here.
The electric meters.
Over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if the photograph shows maybe some of that. Over here.
So right now you're going to bring that door out to where the brick is, right? Roughly.
Correct.
And I'm just saying, instead of adding a door to compete with the front at the same plane, could that entranceway step in from the side? Right side.
And then you would have a window here, you're saying. And the
Well,
door would
we
be on
also
the
have
right
the-
side,
Yeah. We have
potentially.
this brick walkway as well that would lead into a window instead of a
That would be
doorway.
weird, yeah.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going, though? I think right now you've got a house, which the original house is, you can still see it. It's got stuff attached to the sides, but there's no doubt where that original house is. And it's very old and it's wonderful. And by, you know, if I had been around in the day they wanted to put the little vestibule on the right side of it, I would have had to vote against that. But it's there now. And I'm just saying, by bringing the door up to the street plane where the front door is, or close to it, I think you're competing with the old house. And I'd love to see it either stay the way it is or go out to the side. And yeah, maybe you'll have to move a couple bricks or something, but
But there is still a very significant difference with the massing that the door is in. You know, there is no uncertainty here about the front entrance. It is centered on beautifully on this two-story composition. It's very prominent. And since there are no structural changes here and just a door moving forward to this plane in this one-story appendage, I don't think that's going to quite compete with this entrance. I think it's really, more or less going to remain the same because this is still here, whether it's a porch or a vestibule. And whether there is a door there or not, I don't think that's going to quite compete with this. It's going to make this entry a little more prominent, but not at the same level as this one. I don't.
you know where I'm going from. I would like to see you take it down. You know, it's covering up the old side of the house, which is sort of a no-no for us, but it exists, so we can't ask you to do that. But I'm just trying to avoid having it look like, you know, the dentist office on the side of the old building. We eliminated one from our house when we got here. It was two doors give the impression it's either two houses attached or there's something going on at the side. I don't know.
Well, this is two houses attached in theory, but this is a unique
It is,
house.
isn't it? Yeah,
Our daughter is living on this side and we're on that side.
well, then that's what it is.
Also, this picture was taken before the landscaping was enhanced, so it has quite a different look at this point in time. There are hedges across, a beautiful hedgerow across the front, and all kinds of wonderful plantings that are in place that really draw your attention to that central door that I know you love and we do as well. So there's no mistaking as you go past the house or look at the house where her face is. It's very much right there at that central door, which is now painted purple by the previous owner and remains purple for the time being. But the way it's been landscaped, that's been further enhanced. The practical reason of enclosing these two side doorways was mainly to also maintain the integrity of the interior of the house, which the minute you open those doors, the weather is inside on those gorgeous pine floors. And we were looking for a barrier to preserve the interior as well as anything else. That was our prime motivating factor, especially on the side with the that horrible iron railing and cement block there.
Right.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Carol. Or I appreciate the thought there and trying to minimize it, but then I'm drawn back to, there's a curb cut, there's two granite pillars. Even if you do rotate the door around, there's still this walkway. There's still these, there's already this secondary, path there that's gonna remain. So I think turning the door, only half accomplishes that, right? You still have a brick path, you still have those granite posts leading you into that section. But I feel like the prominence of that main entrance and the pediment above it pull you back to the center, but also the symmetry of it, right? You're drawn to the middle of the house with that balance and the symmetry. So I'm not as opposed to keeping the door facing forward.
Show that picture again, what it will look like, please. There's no picture that would show what it will look like.
As a rendering or
Yeah.
3D rendering. We had an older one. I'm gonna see if I can dig it up. We had an older 3-dimensional study. As we're discussing, I'm gonna try to dig that up.
In the meantime, it might be worth, it seems like everyone's kind of on board on the other door entry, maybe commenting on everyone's stance on the other side. It seems like there's less concern about that, but at least
It's still set back. Yeah.
Yep.
Right, let me just zoom over there. Yep, this is the side view of it.
There's a wonderful improvement there.
Yeah. Because you're still back from the front of the house. Is
Right.
there any kind of compromise on the other side? Like you said, it's not quite to the front of the building. It's
Right, we're basically working with the existing soffit, so it's set in from the edge to create a little bit of a shadow line. And we could also make it, maybe we don't need to enhance the trim to where we're showing it. Maybe we can simply add corner trim and clapboards. Maybe that could be one way to blend it in a little more.
Right, and make it less prominent. Yeah.
Right, there's always this point where you have 6-inch wide clapboard. It's probably time to think of alternatives, but I think we can probably incorporate that here and continue a simple corner casing. And the same thing on this side. So maybe that will help not draw as much attention to this, and it will blend in a little more with the clapboard. I'm not sure what the Amsters think about that idea.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
that works for me. That works for me.
Sometimes the smallest changes can make a big difference.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it seems like a good compromise.
Yep. So you would or would not leave the column?
We would relocate the column ideally to the opposite side, and we would just have a corner trim there.
Okay.
Yeah, we would not have a column or pilaster detail anymore.
I think that's one of the things that's making it compete with the front door.
Mhm.
Are
There's
these
always a-
column-
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I was going to say the column always seemed, and I'm in no way a historian, but always seemed out of character with the rest of the facade. I don't know what its history is. I don't know when it was put in place, but it is unique in that it's the only column anywhere on the property.
Right, I think that was definitely a later addition. I think the record mentions a Greek revival porch being added, and I think it's this one.
There you go.
I don't know exactly when it was added, but
Mary Ann, any comments, questions?
Don't have any. To me, it seems like a balanced facade. And it doesn't destroy the integrity of the main house, the old house. So I'm perfectly fine with the way it looks, particularly with the new modifications you made recently in the last couple of minutes. So I'm perfectly fine.
Okay.
I'll jump in and agree with that.
Okay.
Maybe we could go back to the right side again where the 4 windows are together. Is that in there right now?
Yeah.
this,
Hmm?
yes, that's existing.
It's over there.
So my understanding is that those 4 windows were in the past a screened-in porch, which was then enclosed and is now a family room in the home.
So, John, my only question is, there were just some comments made about the kind of Greek column on the right side. And now maybe it always seemed a little strange from the, in relation to the rest of the house. Why move it? Like, and you said you were looking to move it if you could, maybe once it gets removed and the existing roof is shored up, maybe it's not, in good shape anymore or anything. What would be an option for that column on the left side?
Possibly a square column instead of round, with simple detail.
Yeah.
Just to hold the corner of that porch that we're proposing. I think the preserving, that was just an attempt in case the board had strong feelings about keeping it and reusing it. But the fact that it was a little bit of an incompatible element to begin with, even though it is historic, maybe there's no strong reason to try to preserve it. So we could have a simple square column here to hold this corner instead of trying to reuse that round one.
We're fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel strongly either way. Just some of the comments that were made, then why move it? I don't know if anyone else on the commission had any strong feelings or not, or want to see it preserved and relocate it as long as it's structurally sound.
I think what we're looking at here is an improvement and don't feel like there's a powerful motivation to.
No, I wouldn't keep it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right. So does anyone want to make a motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion for a certificate of appropriateness for 237, 239 South Street in the Lincoln Local Phase 2 Historic District for a proposed exterior work that includes a small porch extension from the front entrance of 239 South Street and an infill entrance vestibule on the existing entrance porch of 237th Street, per the plans dated July 28th, 2022, with the following modifications. On the 239 address, is that the right side? 239?
That's 237, actually.
Oh, backwards. Sorry. The 239 entrance will have a square instead of a round column, and the 237 entrance will not have a column in the detail as shown on the plans.
No, I think they are going to relocate that existing column. So it will be round.
Oh, I thought they just said that they were gonna.
They said they were open to it, but I thought.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Justin, I was
So
the only one who
two-
kind of brought it up, so we're gonna leave it as drawn.
Okay. So 239, the 239 entrance will have a relocated round column from the 237 entrance, and the 237 entrance will have no column condition.
Is there a second?
I don't think that's what we said.
Wait a minute, should we talk about, I think, yeah, John, can you help us out here?
Oh, sure. I guess no column condition and siding and trim detail to match adjacent portions of the house or something along those lines, maybe.
And then the
Maybe I
discussion
think-
about the square column, is that what? I mean, there seemed to be a consensus that the column on this side was not necessarily worthy of keeping. I think we had that opinion from several people, including the Amsters. And so then John considered maybe making it a square column on the side. So maybe we should revisit that.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the way I thought that's why I made the motion that way. I thought that
Yeah.
conversation just went that instead of relocating it, they were just going to do a square one. And
Right.
then on the 237, which is the right side, they were just going to do siding to match and have no column.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so
That's what
I
that's what
misheard. I
heard.
thought I was the only one who brought up the round column and everyone was okay with moving it. So that's
No,
my
no. Once you brought it up, we all said, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, sorry.
So I'm going to start over and just do it again. Just to make it easier on Miss Tracy. No worries. So I'll make a motion to issue a certificate of appropriateness for 237, 239 South Street in the Lincoln Local Phase 2 Historic District. Work to include infilling an entrance vestibule on the existing porch of 237 South Street and a small porch extension and infill on 239 South Street, per the plans dated July 26, 2022, with the following modifications. The 239 entrance will have a square column instead of a round column, and the 237 entrance will have no column and will instead have siding and trim to match the existing
Right.
building.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Carol. All right. Mary Ann, how do you vote?
Aye.
Justin?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
It's an aye for me, so motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I just say one,
Thank you, John. Again, wonderful drawing package.
can I
Yeah.
just say one thing?
Sure.
Yes.
Pam was on the advisory board. I was on the school committee. I was waiting till you finished your business. Thank you for your service to the town.
Oh.
Oh, thank
Appreciate
you
it.
very
Thank
much.
you.
I didn't want to say it going in to prejudice the conversation. Really appreciate it.
Often enough. Thank you.
John, great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Good night.
Evening.
Night, night.
Good night. Good night, John.
Good night.
All right. Now we're even more ahead of schedule.
Oh my God, how does that work out?
Oh, it's not, no, it's not too bad. I thought it was 7:45. All right.
Oh, 7:40.
All right. We're just gonna wait a minute or so and then we'll get going.
Okay, we have, sorry,
Yeah, I
like
see
I
Wendy
said, I feel
here.
like I've been shot out of a cannon. I look like it too. So we have Wendy Kirk is next. Oh yeah, we have like, gee, we're always 3 minutes ahead. Do you have any more jokes, Justin?
What do you call a cow with no legs?
Oh, sorry, miss.
A cow
Ground
with
beef.
What did you say?
ground meat. That's
Ground beef.
hysterical. That's hysterical. I'm
Isn't it?
sorry.
It's terrible. Right.
Justin, you're going to cause us to lose members.
All right, I think we're close enough. So let's get started. Wendy, are you going to present or you're on mute?
I'm going to present and I'm going to do my best. So I'm a teacher, and during COVID, I was like really, really good about presenting on Zoom, and I am a little rusty, which is a good thing because no one ever wants to repeat that. But I'm going to go ahead and share our landscape plan with you because that's where we're at. Today, we wanted to just discuss some hardscapes and a barn door. So I'm going to try to enlarge this so that you can see better. So really, the areas that we're talking about right now are in the front. So this is the footprint of the house. We have over here conservation. So these are buffers. We've been working with conservation on this landscaping project as well. You may or may not know, I think a lot of you were either newly on the board or are new now. We had this project approved, I think it was 2020, to do some work on our house. But anyway, we're on the landscaping phase now. So what we're proposing here is a new walkway that leads up to the house. So you may have pictures of the existing walkway. It's brick, and it is not. It's not like the grading of it is just a slope. It's not. There's no steps in it. So in the winter time, it gets really. It can get, a little scary, especially for the mailman. But we were hoping to replace it again with brick in a herringbone pattern like this, and then with some granite steps, just to change the grading of it. And I can show you an example. So I walk my dogs by this house all the time. It's on Middle Street. And admire, this is an example of what it would look like with the granite step and then the brick, flatter walkway right there. Oops, sorry. See, I told you I was rusty. And then the other thing we're proposing is a cobblestone apron along the driveway. The actual driveway, this landscape plan was done before our driveway was put in. It kind of comes up at a little bit more of an angle, but basically the thought process here is hedges along the front corner of the house coming across the property and where it crosses the driveway to install a cobblestone apron with some granite posts on the sides. So that's what we're talking about in terms of hardscape for this project. Do you want me to, we also were talking about the barn door today. Do you want me to talk about that, or should we have a conversation
Did
about
we
this?
ask questions about the first two already? Yes,
Sure.
I'm not hearing her.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Good, Carol.
I thought you were asking I thought you were asking the commission.
Now, I just want to ask about your front steps. And you're right, there's a lot of granite brick steps along our area, and you're right down the street from me. It looks like a lot of sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 literally separated sections.
And I don't think there are going to be that many. I want to say there are going to be maybe 3. We have a follow-up meeting with the landscaper tomorrow. So I think he'll be able to tell us, you know, just by looking at the grade again, this is what the landscape architect had come up with. But in our discussions that we've had with the landscaper leading up to this is it. I think he said maybe 3.
Yeah, those, and they're going to put in solid slabs of granite between the brick areas.
Yeah,
like the picture shows. Yeah, I'd ask him about how many sections, because that could look very busy. But
I agree. Yeah, I think it's 3, but I can definitely confirm.
okay. And then over at the cobble apron, what is the purpose of that?
I think it's just so these, you know, the landscaping here kind of separates the front lawn from kind of this like area in here where we've got cars and things like that.
Yep.
So I think it just helps to separate the 2 areas. I think it's just aesthetic.
So it'd be the same blacktop driveway up to cobblestone apron and then blacktop behind it.
Exactly.
All flat.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
Can I ask a question about the herringbone brick?
Yeah.
To my way of thinking, that's not exactly historically appropriate to the home, but you know, I could be very wrong. And it seems to me with the granite interspersed, it makes it even busier than it needs to be. Maybe I'm just envisioning it, the busyness, and in actuality, it doesn't present that way.
Do you want to
Maybe that was a question of, do you especially want herringbone?
I particularly do. I do not like what we have right now, which is just a linear pattern. You know, I mean, I think that the herringbone personally adds, you know, character, and it's a very classic look. But I'm not 100% married to it. It would be my preference.
And the age of this house is?
1833.
Well, the good news is herringbone dates back to like 70 BC. So
The Greeks or something.
Okay, then I'm wrong. You know, I'm way out of line. So,
yeah, it's a valid point though. I don't know when it was. You know, it's been around since a lot. You know, since the Greeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a valid question, Marianne, which is, you know, was it ever common to see it with this vintage and era house? I don't know the answer to that.
and maybe it doesn't matter. You know, if it's certainly something that wasn't invented yesterday, and the owner likes it. It's classic, it's elegant, and not busy, unbusy.
Yeah.
So,
Right. My position would be, it's up to the owner.
Mhm.
Should we move on to the barn door?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so this is a little bit of an old picture. I apologize. I think I must have gotten like delete happy on my phone and deleted some pictures. So this is a little bit old, but for those of you who were on the board when we got our project approved for the house, we relocated this barn that was on the property to the other side. And in doing so, you know, putting it up on the foundation, it was 3 different barns, or it was a barn that was added on twice. So when we lifted it and moved it, we placed it on a new foundation. In doing so, it's raised off of the ground slightly more than it was. So our, you know, our builder, you know, did the fill and everything like that. But the garage door that was on, or that is on it now, that was the one that was on previously on it, no longer closes. It's not tall enough because the bottom has been extended. So we are looking to replace it. It's, again, it's a barn that we believe was originally symmetrical here, and this was an addition. And then this over here was an addition. So this opening right here is about 16 by 8. And I included in the packet a few different options of things that we've been talking about with the hopes of having a discussion, because we're not exactly sure what direction we should be going in here. So there were some, we love the idea of a sliding barn door, but with the opening that we have, the only way to do it would be to have, so if the opening is 16 by 8, you could only have ever an 8-foot opening because they'd have to slide on top of each other. There's not enough a clapboard on either side for them to swing out to the side or to, slide out to the side. So we've been working with a company in Lancaster called Barn Depot, and they've sent us some pictures of ideas. They'll custom make anything for us. So the sliding barn door was one idea. Their caveat is that it's not necessarily always weather tight. Another idea is like a true, swing door. Not necessarily exactly like this. They have different options that can custom make anything for us that we want, but they're saying, well, with a swing door, as soon as you get into the weather, you have to make sure it's clear in order to get out. So another option, and I don't have this, I apologize, but would be to kind of match what's on our garage right now, which is, the wood. I think it's 16 light, So I don't know if anyone has any thoughts. Let me go back to the picture of the barn. Our intention for this is not to park cars. It's kind of to use as a utility space. So, we can do something that's a wood, overhead door, that has some historic looking detail on it, but kind of just wanted to get the commission's feedback if you have any.
Do you have the photo of, it says option to match barn door to existing garage. Are these with the 16 windows across the top? Is this what's on the house now?
It is, yeah.
Do you have that photo to put on the screen or no?
You know what? I don't have that, and I'm so sorry. I couldn't.
We have that in our packet.
It's in the packet, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't find it when I went back to look at it. I must have been deleting pictures off my phone. What I can do if you'd like is to pull up the architectural plans. Would that be helpful?
No, if everyone has their packet, they can see it.
Okay.
I was just going to pull it up. Personally, I think that's my preference. But.
Yeah, mine too.
I agree.
Was the intent to split this and have 2 8 doors or just one big one?
I think they can only have one.
Thank you for asking that question. We've actually talked about a few different things. We've talked about whether or not we should put a post in the middle, but then, you've got 2 openings that are less than 8 feet. We've also talked about maybe trying to do something where we go back to the original symmetrical frame here and close in some of this. But then we just aren't sure that that's going to look right either. It's kind of like you have symmetry one place, but not the other. So that's, I think, what's a little tricky.
What if you use just one section of the doors with 16 windows and center it under the point of the eaves and just leave that side off center, maybe put a window in it or something. Often there were horses on the side of a barn or places for animals or something, but just center the new door. So you have one, you're not going to use it for 2 cars anyway.
Right.
And is your thought that this barn is original so that hay chute or whatever it is, hay door up there is original to this barn?
It might be. I mean, I know there are things on the inside of the barn over here on this side that indicate almost like a chute.
Yeah.
and I apologize for my ignorance and not knowing exactly what it's for, but I do think, and there is a loft up here, so there's a set of stairs that goes up and there's a loft, so we were
That would-
planning on that staying right where it is.
That would look like a nice old original barn if you had just the one door that opens up with the 8 windows and that hatch up above as it is. I wouldn't worry about it being symmetrical because they say, they had storage and bales of hay and all kinds of stuff on the side. I think that would look nice with your house. Appropriate for the age.
Okay,
Just one thought.
thank you. Yeah, I think my plan, as I've been struggling with this, is maybe to just reach out to Jonathan Aprea. He did our plans for our house, and just see if he can even sketch something up for us that would help us in a certain direction. Yeah. Would you like to see the landscape plans again, or
Does it involve hardscape?
does this
No,
one?
it's just what she already presented. It's just
Yeah.
what she was asking if she wanted us to go back to what she already presented.
Yeah, just yeah.
Wendy, were you looking for approval on the hardscape stuff tonight, or are you fine to come back with both at the same time, or?
I would definitely prefer the hardscape tonight, if possible, and definitely can swing back on the door once we have a final plan.
Yeah. Chair Tracy, that we can do that, right? Split it and just approve the.
Yeah. And I agree with Carol. I like matching the existing garage doors and kind of centering it under the eave and the barn door and kind of infill in the left side there. It looks just looks a little out of.
It almost feels like it wants to fall over.
Yeah.
It's not, it's odd. I don't know if the previous owners parked cars in there. I mean, that door is so heavy, I actually can't even, and I just can't even lift it or close it myself. But I agree, it's kind of like, you don't even really know what to do. So I'm going to reach out to Jonathan and see if he can draw something up for us. And
He might even suggest a small door or a
Right.
window. Something to balance it out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we can do the hardscape tonight, can't we?
Yeah. So does anyone want to make a motion on the hardscape?
Sure. I'll make a motion to issue a certificate of appropriateness for 361 Main Street, located in the Hingham Center Historic District, to replace an existing brick sidewalk with a new herringbone brick and granite step sidewalk. Are we going with 5 or letting the landscape and slope determine it?
I think
that's
letting the
the one
landscape and slope determine it, but definitely not as many as there are there now, probably half.
Okay, so with somewhere between 2 and 4 granite steps, and cobblestones to be added at the front apron, per the drawing dated 7/22/21.
And you already have those 3 parking lots there? Parking spots are already in?
Yeah.
That's my motion.
Second.
All right. Justin, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Mary Ann?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
And it's an aye for me, so motion passes 5.
Thank you.
So just one question, is that a new application or a continuance, or how do we do with the rest of the application, Chair?
I was actually going to talk to Andrea afterwards. We'll have she'll have her architect look at it, but I wonder if it comes back with just a door to match existing that's kind of centered and we infill the left. It might be something that Andrea and I can sign off on separately.
Okay.
Because everyone kind of commented, but if they want to add a man door or a window or something like that, we should take another look with a separate application.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. 3 minutes again.
Oh, geez.
Justin, go for it. I know you got one.
Oh, gosh, I don't know if I
Come
do.
on, Justin.
Oh, my
we're
God, that's a
depending
lot
on
of
you.
pressure. That's a lot of pressure. I already did the cow joke.
Hey, that was
And
pretty
the math
funny.
book. Yeah. I know there are more. Nope, coming up empty.
All right.
Anybody else?
No. I think we can probably get going.
I think so too.
All right. Next item, 124 South Street. Let's see.
Meredith and Bob.
I don't know if they can hear us.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, good. Yay.
All right.
Did you hear the one about the?
Sorry, I'm cutting myself off.
I like your style, sir.
All right. Are you able to share plans, or is Tracy able to share the plans?
I did not have anything to show tonight. I know I'm hoping you have something in front of you.
There we go.
Okay.
Great.
Can we start with the site plan?
Maybe we should
This is-
introduce ourselves. Would that help?
Sure.
Sure.
Meredith Deveney. I live at 124 South Street, and this is my dad who's done most of the work on this. So
I've been constricted, what is it?
Conscripted.
Conscripted to be the project
You've
manager
been volunteered.
and guardian angel, right, right.
So basically, I'm looking to remove a very old shed and replace it, and also remove a very old fence and replace that as well.
Is there a picture of this?
No.
I don't see a picture of the house other than the sketching, which has no shed or fence.
Andrea?
I have photos of the shed, not the house, in my packet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That's not in my packet. You guys actually have that?
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
packet. Maybe Carol's got a.
I have 4 pictures of the same side of the house sketched. And some little sketches. I'll watch the screen.
Do you have the right one open? Do you have the right address?
I don't know, there's nothing on the front. It just says, just a house.
No,
that's
No,
not.
that's not, that's, I think
Yeah, you
that's
have the wrong
old
application.
302
Bridgeman's.
South. Yeah.
This is what I have for 124. There's the shed, right?
Yes.
Mhm. Yes,
So this is it. So there's no work to the house. They're
No.
removing an existing shed, building a new shed. They're removing an existing fence, building a new fence.
correct.
There's no work to the house itself.
No.
No.
So let's go back to the site plan.
Okay.
Right, and we can see on the bottom is the existing. There we go. On the left is the existing.
Yep,
The shed is just to the right of the north arrow there.
correct.
And then they're looking to put a new shed. If you look on the right-hand side, it looks like it's a little smaller footprint, but it's a little closer to the brick patio there. So it's at the end of the driveway. You would see it from South Street. South Street's on the top of the page. So you pull into the driveway, you'll see the shed. You see the existing shed now. But the fence comes and hits does a fence run right along the driveway there?
Yes.
Yes,
So let's go to the photos on the next page. So that top photo with the yellow, I'm assuming that's the shed.
That's the existing shed.
Yep. So
It's
that's standing on your property, but South Street's is at your back.
Correct.
Yes.
So that's what you see right now on South Street.
Correct.
So they would tear down that yellow shed with the moss roof. And then it would slide to the left 10 feet or so. And that fence is part of what gets replaced?
Yes.
Yes.
The existing shed is non-conforming. It's right up against the property line.
Yep.
And the new shed would come in and be conforming 15 to 16 feet
So you got to move it about
to
50.
the left, correct.
Okay. What's the extent of the fence that you're replacing? Is it just what we see here?
It would be to the right of the shed as well, because we have a pool, so we'd have to have fence on.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other
So
side.
once you slide it over, you got to fill in the gap from the right side to the
Correct.
property line. But
Correct.
that's it. It's just that one
Piece, yes.
piece. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're looking to replace the shed, the fence with what's here.
With a new fencing of the exact same dimensions. Yeah.
That's 6 feet high, or is it a little
6
taller?
feet high, 6 feet high, including the topper, the 18-inch topper, which is what's there now.
Okay. So as far as the shed plan, what would we see from South Street if we go down to page 5 or 6?
Yeah, you'd have to go down, yeah. That's the status of the existing shed with it's rotted out. And this is,
So which of these elevations? Oh, so street facing here, side D.
this
The
one,
bottom.
yes, that one on the bottom.
So that's what we'd see from the street, side D, and there would be replacement fence on both sides of it because they're shifting
Correct. Yep.
away from the property line.
Yes.
What is the siding on the shed? The
The
wood,
siding would be cedar clapboard.
right? What's the material of the door and the windows?
The doors are also cedar and tongue and groove cedar. And the windows, I believe the framing of them is composite.
And the roof is asphalt?
Asphalt roof, yeah, architectural shingles.
Anyone on the commission have any questions? I tried to explain it to the best of my abilities.
You did well. I have a
It was pretty
question.
good.
Will the fence, the fence is in front of the building, correct?
I think it meets at the two.
So
It
it's
meets at each
adjacent
side.
on either side, yeah.
I see. Okay. All right, thank you.
There is, I think, a photograph of the fence, the proposed fence in the packet. It also is cedar.
Yes.
And you would leave it natural?
I don't
Okay.
know. I think we might stain it to the color of the house.
Okay. Any questions?
Can make a motion.
Everyone's good? No comments or questions?
Good.
All right.
Not for me.
Make a motion to issue a certificate of appropriateness for 124 South Street in the Lincoln Local Historic District. Work to include removal of an existing non-conforming shed with the replacement of a new 10 by 12 shed within the setbacks. Shed to include asphalt shingle roof, cedar clapboard cedar door and composite windows. Additionally, a fence to be extended behind the shed to match existing, to be fabricated from cedar with an 18-inch topper, to be either raw cedar or stained to match the existing house.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, Justin. Justin, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Carol, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Josh, how do you vote?
Aye.
It's an aye for me, so motion passes.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good work, Dad.
Yes.
I tried. Thanks.
All right, we have Mr. Palmer.
Hello there. How are you?
Hi.
So let's see, who is?
We have an informal discussion.
Yes.
And so Miss Tracy, maybe if you could share what Mr. Palmer has provided for us, that would be great.
I have, yeah, that would be, sure. I have a streetscape here showing, this is actually a proposal for 28 North Street. There we go. To add 2 stories to an existing 1-story building. And I had come before the board years ago, and they had approved a design. And at the time, I wasn't able to do it. So now, being it so much later, I figured I would come back and redo the process. So what you're looking at on the screen there, actually, let me show you this. This is the existing streetscape. I'm sure you all know this. To the left here is Thomas Auto Body. Then we have, or actually it's Thomas Auto, I don't know what it is anymore. Then 32, 30, and then the red building is 28 North. So, which is currently Robin's Nest, an interior design studio. And behind it is the Deja Vu. There's a site plan. This is North Street. And then behind is Station Street. There you go. So I won't be doing anything to the, I just actually renovated the back building to the extent of, you know, fixing the siding and fixing the rot, repainting it, and making it nice again. And I've also done the same thing to 28 North, fixed some rot, did some repainting overall, overhauled the place. Anyway, so that's what I am trying to do. And what I'd like to do is add a couple of stories. So you can see that's a picture of the building. The streetscape, every building on that street is either, they're all 3 stories. And yeah, that's it. Actually, go back to the streetscape. Up one, there we go. This one. You can't rotate that, can you? There you go. So all of these buildings are either 2 or 3 stories. So you could see, for example, 32, the light blue building. That's some kind of treatment, somewhat like that. And I had initially, way back when, had these 2 elevations. And I know one of these was approved. I just can't remember which one. It was so long ago. But anyway, it was one of these. So I liked this one here. That's the one I drew in the streetscape. Putting some awnings on the front, dressing it up a little bit, adding a doorway so you can see the doorway to the right, which would be the doorway to go up to the upper 2 stories. And the first floor would remain a commercial space. So what do you think? What do you think?
Andrea,
There's
would
land
we
all
have
the
the
way around
plans?
this building, right?
I'm sorry, Tracy, what?
Would we have the plans of what was approved years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was one of these.
Yeah, a two-story building was approved at the time.
It was a,
Oh, I see.
just an elevation. It wasn't any, I didn't have any working drawings or,
No,
interior, plans or anything like that, but it was just a proposal for the elevation.
I think it's important to note that, let's see, this building has been a one-story building historically. And the building behind it was, used to be a ticket booth at Melville Gardens.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. And so now it's the Deja Vu studio. Is that correct, Bob?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a hair studio. So I think, Bob, your proposal is to get rid of the addition on the back of this building, this North Street building. Is that correct?
No, that would stay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just a little bump out.
Yeah.
I would get rid of it. It's really not even a consequential thing. What the people,
All right. We can't even see it.
yeah, they use it for a storage room for swatches and samples and things like that. So
Okay. So I think if we're talking about tonight, the idea of adding a second story to this building and giving your thoughts about that, and also what Mr. Palmer would need, sorry, to provide in order to evaluate the proposal.
correct.
I thought you were proposing a 3-story.
Two stories added. Yeah.
For a
So-
total of 3.
Total, correct.
And am I looking at this right on the map? It is open to the air on all 4 sides. It's not attached to another building.
Correct.
So those second and third floors would have windows on all sides?
Pretty much. Only probably not where they look directly into the building next door, obviously. As in you can see, I drew a second one back from North Street. That probably wouldn't be one there. That's a hallway anyway. So I would say windows in the front, back obviously, and if they work on the side, that's fine. Probably up in the dormers.
And so you're creating housing space.
Correct.
Above the store. And is there a second floor on the Robin's Nest right now? There's a window there, but it's not housing space up there.
No.
Okay.
There's a actually no. There's just they just have that sign on the eaves up there.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's only that floor is what's occupied. It used to be, boy, in the old days it was Noble's Camera Shop, and then
Way
it was
back.
way back, yeah. 'Cause I remember I went up in the attic there, and I found a whole bunch of bags from Noble's Camera Shop, and still in perfect condition. So of course I saved them. And then it was the sub shop for a while, and it was a lawnmower repair shop, and then it was Robin's Nest.
Mhm. So I assume that besides our approval for its appearance, you then have to go to the building department?
Oh,
to
sure.
get it
Yeah.
approved and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
we're just saying whether or not we think this looks right and
Correct. Yeah, historically, what do you think?
Well, now down the end of the street is the new Lincoln building,
Correct.
right? Keep going around the corner. So do you know the height of that compared to the height of the red building? What you'd like to do to it?
The red building is, I think, 30 feet high. I think in that area, I think the Lincoln building is 4 stories.
36 or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be as big as that.
No. I wouldn't go any taller than the adjacent buildings, like that light blue building. That's as high as I'd go.
Okay.
Because it would be out of character in the streetscape.
Mhm. I don't see any problem with it.
Are there any? Oh, I'm
Better
sorry.
than what we're doing now. I think it would be.
The only comment I have is, you know, I don't have an issue with going up and kind of matching the rest of the streetscape in terms of size and massing. That's fine. The roof form seems I don't know, maybe it's just I haven't digested enough, but the roof form seems a little off. I understand that the light blue one has the gable end, but it's a little different. So I deferred more to Tracy and some of the other architects on the call, but it jumps out at me as being a little off. That's really my only comment that I have.
This one here on the left is more like the light blue building because it doesn't take the full eave like a dormer. So, I mean, there are things, there are obviously things that can be done. This is just conceptual.
But in general, in terms of massing, it looks like it fits into that, the vernacular of that piece of North Street.
Correct, yeah.
And that was me channeling Virginia Tay.
Yes, I heard that. I literally heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what would be the next
Yeah,
step?
can we give Mr. Palmer some specific feedback? And what does he need to do?
Well, first off, I think there's some feedback that 3 stories does not feel inappropriate there.
Mhm.
And I'd add, I think we'd all get there anyway, but obviously more understanding what the architectural details end up being, that'll be important.
Right, sure. Yeah, it will be very similar to everything around it. Right now, it's all simple flat casings around the windows. I put a little ledge above the window for a little rain, like a rain table situation.
Okay.
But whatever fits in the not that I want the place to just blend in, but it is red, so it kind of stands out already.
I like that. I think
Yeah, that'd be my comment. I think I don't want to go too far, but a little uniqueness within that world, I think could be a nice thing.
Yeah.
the painted ladies of San Francisco,
Exactly.
all different colors.
Except all the trim's white, though. Yeah.
So to answer the other question that you had, Andrew, I would say that a site plan, architectural drawings with detailed elevations, the roof plan showing the pitches, and then vendor brochures and cut sheets. I think that's kind of the minimum of what we would need.
Sure.
There's a pretty good checklist in the application. I think if you follow that, you should be in good shape.
Yeah, I have the app here. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I wanted to talk about something else. That's for another meeting, though. On the back building, the Deja Vu building, the woman who runs the hair salon says that during the winter it kind of gets slippery, so she wanted to put a little awning on over the door, so like a little 3 foot wide, maybe 2-3 foot projection awning.
You're right. That's another application, which
Exactly.
actually you can submit simultaneously. We can,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
can.
okay, so I have the HDC app here.
Good.
So, courtesy of Andrea, thank you very much.
I'll be happy to help you.
Okay. Very good. All right. I will go through what is needed, and then we'll reconvene.
Can we just, Chairman Tracy, can we just maybe summarize the comments or just the general feedback?
Andrea, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Just knowing that it's obviously a much larger building, you will see a bit more from Station Street. Is that something the commission would like to see, the elevation from that side behind Deja Vu, or no?
Interesting question. Well, yeah, we'd have to, because that's part of it, would have to look at that. So good question,
If it
Eric.
presented, right, if it presented an unappealing view to Station Street, that would be concerning.
And actually, one of the questions I have, Andrea, is knowing that one of our normal members is not here, is it possible for Catherine to share any feedback she may have to you that you can pass along to the applicant, so that if she is the sitting member next time, that it's not new feedback? Is that possible?
Well, she would have to, she can view the video of this, and if she has something to add, I can email that to the
Yeah, I just asked because I know Catherine usually does watch the
Yes.
videos and then joins back in, so I was just trying to get ahead of that.
No, thank you.
I don't
That's
think she
good.
can vote on it next time.
Yeah, good.
Which is-
Thank you
this
very
is-
much. You're right. So I think we've got you, Mr. Palmer.
Very good. I appreciate it.
Cleaning up the downtown.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Good evening.
Good night. Okay, I think we have minutes.
Yeah, I was saying that, but apparently only to myself because I was muted.
We read lips now, it's okay.
Carol thinks she found,
Well, I don't know for sure whether it is. If you go to the bottom of the first page, and cleverly I did not print mine out tonight, the last line says, Justin found a correction, and then it just goes on. It doesn't say what the correction was, and we voted on it, listing it. Is that okay?
it was
Yeah,
a
we
very
should-
moderate, yeah, it's,
We should
needs
include that. We should include that. So, Miss Tracy, maybe we can work on that.
it was
Whatever that
so minor. It was really wondering whether, I think roof line was one or two words.
That's exactly what it was, actually.
But
Now that you say that.
nevertheless, thank you,
We
Tracy.
would read it 100 years from now, wondering what that correction was.
Right, what that,
Yeah.
it must have been something very important.
Very important.
You know, though, I mean, there are others who have said in the past that if you're going to make a correction, it should be noted exactly what it is. So,
So can we approve the minutes with that correction?
Yeah.
All right. So is there a motion to approve the minutes, adding Justin's correction from?
I'll make that motion since it's the topic of conversation. with Modification. I'd like to.
Second.
Carol seconds it. Justin, how do you vote to approve the
I
minutes?
vote aye.
Carol,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
Mary Ann, I'm gonna ask you,
Aye.
and it's an aye for me. So minutes are approved. Anyone have anything else before motion to adjourn?
Yes.
no, the only thing I have to talk about is a date for a business meeting. And I
Yay.
think the ship has sailed for September.
Hadn't we selected a date?
Well, it just didn't work out for everybody. So
What
we
was
have
it?
to,
It was supposed to be next Monday, the 19th.
yeah, next Monday, but we have to pick a date. And that's what I'm asking you tonight, to look at your calendars.
How about next Tuesday,
I can't do Tuesday. I have an ADU meeting.
Wednesday? Justin, is that one of your no-no Wednesdays?
Let me look. That is not one of my no-no Wednesdays.
I can do it.
Yeah,
And what is that? What date is that?
21, September 21.
Well, I hope,
Oh, hold on.
I don't know when Catherine is gonna.
I have that's back to school night or something like that for me.
Okay, never mind. We have to have everybody there. Everybody.
How about Thursday?
The date is what?
That would be 22.
I'm gonna be out of town starting the 22nd, the rest of the week.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's look at October. Hello? I just want to make sure that we're all there. I think that's important. Look at your October schedules.
My October, at the moment, only October 5 would be not good for me.
And that is, hold on,
And that's
That's
the Wednesday
Yom
of
Kippur.
that first
that's
week.
Yom Kippur.
Yeah. But October 3rd,
Yeah.
Everybody
week?
else? No, not October 3rd, because I have a historical commission meeting that night, but we can
I think
do.
there's something ironic about having a business meeting on the Day of Atonement if we do it on the 5th.
Very helpful.
Hello.
What day is the second?
Sunday. But
Sunday.
we skipped the week of September 26th to 30.
Yeah, let's try that.
I probably won't be able to do anything that week.
What do you work, 24/7? 365?
I have to hold the whole week. I have 2 days I have to be in Michigan, and it's weather dependent. So,
Yeah.
my apologies.
Well, let's start in October then. What's the first
All right,
day? of
let's look at October. All right.
We rolled out the 3rd. What about the 4th?
4th. How about it?
What
4th?
day of the week?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, the 4th. Hello?
Tuesday?
that's fine with me.
Fine with me.
Fine with me.
Eric?
We lost him.
Finding my mute button. Yep, that's fine with me.
All right.
Ah. All right.
What are the
well,
chances
hopefully
Catherine is free?
Yeah. All right, so everybody's available on October the 4th, and we'll have.
Can we pick it as a group, just one backup day, just in case Catherine's not
Sure.
busy? And then that way,
Good idea. Okay.
That's a
would
good.
the 6th work for everybody?
No,
Yep.
no, I have to do an open meeting law retrain.
Yes, same.
I could sum it up for you in about 10 seconds.
Honk.
The 12th?
That's back to school for me.
I'm going that week. Sorry.
Wow. That's all right. We're good.
Did we think about October 3 already, which was a Monday?
Yeah, Andrew couldn't do it.
Yeah, I can't because I have another commission meeting that night.
Thursday, October 6th.
That's the
No,
open
that was
meeting.
already out.
That's yeah.
Does it help if we look at daytime instead of nighttime?
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Who's available during the day?
Yeah,
There's-
be tough for me.
That's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Chairman Tracy is not available. So, I mean,
Andre, can we not do it on Yom Kippur? Was the 5th an option for everybody?
well, no, because Yom Kippur.
I know it's a public. Okay.
Yeah, we can't because it
Okay.
is a holiday, so.
So there's the 17th, Monday, the 17th.
And this is now we're after our backup date because
Yeah.
we
So-
think October 4 works.
Can we do I could probably make this. Would the 29th work for everybody?
Of September?
September.
That works for me.
Yep.
September 29th, everybody?
Okay.
If we could do the 4th first, that would be easier, Andrea. But if it sounds like we don't have a lot of other options, so if it has to be the 29th, I'll just make it work.
Okay, all
I
right.
stepped out of the room. 29th of what?
September.
September.
September. Perfect.
That's the backup date, Carol.
Yep, got it.
I was gonna tell her we had
October
moved into December while she was out.
That's funny.
Right after.
See, there's the
Labor
best joke of the night.
All right.
Was that the math book one?
So,
Make a motion to adjourn, or are we not ready?
no, that's fine.
I'll
Oh,
second.
sorry.